Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today for what promises to be a highly insightful session. Of a professional. Before we dive into the session, there are a few housekeeping points to ensure that this entire session is a smooth and engaging experience for everyone. The webinar is scheduled to last approximately an hour and a half, including the Q&A session. Right. Please keep yourselves on mute and turn your cameras on to make sure that there is interaction between you and Sanjana ma'am as well. We also encourage you to submit your questions at any time throughout the presentation using the chat box. Our team will be collecting them and will be addressing them as many as possible towards the dedicated Q&A segment. Also, another thing to note is that a feedback form would be circulated in the chat box of the session towards the very end, and only if you fill the feedback form would you be eligible for certificates. And today's session is being recorded, and in case you miss out, we will be uploading it on our YouTube, and you can go ahead and review it from there. The legal profession is changing at a rapid pace. Technology, globalization, and shifting client expectations are fundamentally reshaping how lawyers work. For young lawyers entering this dynamic field, the challenge is not just to keep up, but to balance speed and efficiency with a strong commitment to ethics and smart practice. Today, we'll explore some of the key strategies for success in this new legal environment. Our discussion will cover how to quickly adapt to changing trends, build a practice on foundation of ethical principles, and also implement smart strategies for client management and career growth. We'll also touch on the crucial importance of continuous learning in law. Moving on, it is my honor to introduce our distinguished speaker for today, Advocate Sanjana Suri. Ma'am is the founder and managing partner of Dhan Legal Co, where she leads a dynamic team providing expert legal solutions across various sectors. As a lawyer and entrepreneur, she also serves as a mentor to young lawyers and legal strategists and is a legal strategist for startups. With extensive experience in areas like corporate law, dispute resolution, intellectual property, and business advisory, she provides comprehensive and strategic legal expertise to all her clients. Ma'am's practice focuses on long-term relationships based on trust and integrity outside of her professional work. She is passionate about mentoring us young professionals, young legal professionals, and advocating for diversity and inclusion in the legal industry. Ma'am also holds a master's in criminal and security law from Symbiosis Law School, Pune, and a bachelor's of law from Karnavati University. Ma'am also recently completed an online course in contract law from Harvard University. Without further ado, please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Advocate Sanjana Suri. Ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Hello everyone. I hope I'm audible.
You are, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Preksha, for your sweetest and kindest of words for me. Can I start sharing my presentation here?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so hello everyone. Um, my name is Sanjana Suri, and as more or less Preksha has already mentioned about me, I am a first generation lawyer, and my journey has been both rewarding as with wins and tough lessons, all of which has led me to establish my own firm named as Dhan Legal Co. I want to start today with a simple reflection, and I want to ask this simple question to all of you: why do you wish to become a lawyer? Drop all your thoughts in the chat. I am going to try to answer all your questions at the end of this session. So, about me, I didn't have a ready network to lean on. I carved my own path by actively networking, enrolling in certificate courses, and pursuing an LLM that gave me both skills and confidence. Today, my journey and my practice areas are mostly into corporate, civil, real estate laws, and cross border transactions. One story that has shaped me earlier my career is when I signed in a US client within my first 3 months of practice. It is an organization which has worldwide operations that has tested me intensely before trusting me with their contacts and policy work. That experience has not only validated my abilities but has also opened doors for me to work on matters beyond India. While my mentors remain the most strongest support system, the heart and soul of Dhan Legal is something I've built through determination and resilience. I would actually like to talk about a few words on legal specs. I think it's a very powerful platform and an initiative that brings together knowledge sharing and networking for aspiring legal professionals, all like all of us. It connects law students and early career lawyers with mentors while also helping them secure valuable internships. For many of us, growing up meant limited access to technology and guidance. If I talk about me, technology was very restricted at my house, and most of us had no idea where to turn a mentorship or become an opportunist. So, legal specs changes that by creating a community where learning, mentoring, and career building happen seamlessly. They know their job and they are doing exceptionally great at ensuring the next generation lawyers don't just face the same barriers that we did. So, my webinar starts with the advantages of today's generation lawyers, the young lawyers like all of you. I think AI is a fantastic tool and an accelerator for speed. It makes contracts neat, clear, and grammatically sound. However, a very clean draft is not automatically a legal draft, right? So, my understanding is that ethics and legality still rest on our lawyers, our skills, and our judgment, which are non negotiable. In my experience, many tools are not reliably trained in terms of Indian laws and Indian specific requirements. For example, the jurisdiction nuances, confidentiality clauses, and deal critical clauses that can be missed. Recently, when I came across a client which required a master service agreement, they specifically mentioned that they wanted a 6 month grace period before termination. I tried AI because, of course, when it is about digitalization, I would of course try AI, and I wanted to know how it, builds the templates and all of that. But when I tried prompting the AI assistant with my requirement, it repeatedly failed to include that very important clause, which was spotted at the same moment. I fixed it, but it was a reminder for me that prompts alone don't guarantee accuracy. So my workflow goes this way. In my understanding is that I let AI handle the first pass structure and the language, the grammatically sound error, the grammatically sound pages and all of that. And then the checklist starts with the jurisdiction, governing law, confidentiality, IP payments, termination mechanism, etc. So talking about IP payment and client specific requirements is what AI cannot do. It's our brain and lawyers who are supposed to do that. Now, ethics as the anchor. For me, I think that ethics is no negotiable. I mean, I cannot negotiate on ethics for money or for speed. So speed must come. According to me, speed doesn't come with a cost of clarity, right? I learned this a very hard way in my early career when, in a rush to meet a timeline, I sent an anxious email to a client, which was a very big deal, without attaching the very important document which I was supposed to share. That one omission taught me that clear intentions matter more than racing to hit the send button. Since then, I have made it clear that instead of focusing through speed, I focus on mostly reading to the client's understanding first, reading the files, observing the client's behavior, what the client needs, and ensuring that the accuracy is before commitment. Every client engagement starts with a proper engagement letter. I have a curated engagement letter wherein no matter how urgent the matter is, The engagement letter is signed by Dhan Legal as well as the other party. When it comes to ethics, money cannot overweigh my principles. Once I was approached by a client, 2 months back, who had carried out unauthorized renovations, causing damage to neighbors, and then sought to misuse his community position to cover it up. Though the fees was quite attractive, many my instincts and my ethical ground said no, and I denied the case. For me, ethics is not negotiable, and it's the core of our sustainable practice. So, as a legal profession and as a mentor for all of you, I would say that you have to put your ethics first before anything else. Now, how to practice smart? According to me, smartness is law plus entrepreneurship plus tech plus empathy. So, in this scenario, I think opportunities don't just happen, you have to attract them. Being alert and open makes you an opportunist in the best way possible, and networking is one of the strongest ways to do that. I would recommend all of you to join sessions in your cities, connect with NGOs, volunteering for causes that matter. These experiences not only help others to sharpen, but also to become a great lawyer. During my law school, I remember attending an NGO for like a particular time of sessions wherein I got a hang of how to manage the kids there, and then I also created a marriage certificate for my helper when I was in my third year. So all these things made me stand out today because I have gained more confidence in doing all these things. So the key is to combine smart work with authentic working. Networking is very important aspect, and talk about real life scenarios. I'm sure every one of you are on LinkedIn. Make the most use of it. The key is to combine smart work with authentic networking, talking about real life and raw scenarios, and showing up consistently. So consistency is the key, and it will change the game. Trust me. Now, what are the essentials of a future lawyer? So these are the basic essentials what we have been seeing as in the traditional practices as well, like research writing, negotiation and advocacy. But emotional intelligence, digital skills through AI, and global outlook is something which is to be overlooked and to be visible in the future lawyers. Whatever tools we use, the fundamentals don't change. So talking about research and writing are our bedrock. Clear issues, clean citations, and plain English draftings that a client can act on. In terms of negotiation and advocacy, we win by preparation. You should know the must haves, nice to haves, and walkaways. And keep the tone very firm, not hostile. Talking about emotional intelligence is what you have to remember. You have to listen to your clients without interrupting, summarizing their concerns and issues in their words, and setting expectations calmly.
चप्पल पैर तो नहीं चलेगा
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, now you are. From the previous slide, you've not been audible.
Okay, so sorry.
No worries, ma'am.
Let me check. Was it this one? Essentials of a future lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Talking about this generation's future lawyer, I am sure research and writing and negotiation and advocacy is something which have been traditionally used as well. But when we talk about emotional intelligence, digital skills, AI literacy, and global outlook are something which we would like to see in our new generation lawyers, including me. So, whatever tools that we use, the fundamentals don't change. In terms of research and writing, they are our bedrock. Clear issues, clean citations, and plain English drafting are clear and can act on. Talking about negotiation and advocacy, we win by preparation. We should know what are the must have, nice to have, to argue, and to how to resolve the disputes effectively. Talking about emotional intelligence, it is very important to be empathetic towards your clients. They expect that you understand their emotions as well. And emotional intelligence is what clients remember. When you listen to them without interruption, summarizing their concerns in their words, and setting expectations calmly. Now, talking about digital skills, I would expect my team to be AI literate, but also privacy aware. It is very important that when the data is given by the client to us, it is very important that we keep it safe and we do not upload it publicly. Finally, we talk about global outlook. Even a simple indemnity can shift all across jurisdictions and norms before we argue. So, if you combine all these three, you'll deliver advice that's fast, ethical, and truly useful. Now, speed versus ethics, quite confusing, right? So, if a client asks me to draft a contract overnight and skip compliance check, my answer would be clear. I would never ever compromise on compliance for speed. Skipping checks might save a few hours today, but it would expose the client disputes, penalties, or even regulatory action tomorrow. At the same time, I do respect privacy urgently, so I would work at maximum efficiency, less speed, using templates through AI, but every compliance step would be ticked off. So my choice is going to be option C, to find a middle ground. I would deliver as quickly as possible with checks in place. This way, the client knows that I've met the deadline as per their needs and seriously, but I've also built a strong long term protection which is non negotiable. Now, what are the key takeaways of today's webinar? So, according to me, everything and the essence of everything we have discussed comes to the balance. Speed with substance means using tools, processes, and time management to work faster, but never at of a cost of accuracy or compliance. Eth- Ethics as identity is what sets us apart. I have shared how I denied work, but for not for money, but for my own, ethical practice. It is something which is very important when we practice law for long and sustainable development of us as a profession. Smart practice is a blend of solid legal knowledge, business awareness, empathy, and selective use of tech. AI can, of course, polish a draft, but it cannot replace our judgment. And finally, to future proof yourself, you need to keep learning, networking, building a global outlook, whether it's working for cross border clients, whether it's working for an NGO or a pro bono case, or leveraging platforms like your LinkedIn. Every step adds to your growth. So, if you anchor yourself in these pillars, you won't just survive in law, you'll thrive. Now, what should be your next steps? As you step forward in this profession, remember to be bold, to be ethical, and to be adaptive. Confidence is important, but it must be anchored with integrity because that becomes your lifelong brand. Don't try to walk with the part that is alone. Find mentors, networks. Of course, I have made my own law firm because of my mentor, because he has guided me, because he's helped me, because he's assisted me in all my needs and requirements. Not everyone has all kinds of knowledge. We need assistance and help throughout the process. And Legal Specs is a platform wherein, of course, you can get mentorship. You can, get more connections on LinkedIn. Keep your eyes open to new practice areas like, startups, tech law, arbitration. These are the spaces where big opportunities are emerging. And finally, I would request you all to stay connected. Communities like Legal Specs and all of that exist, so you don't have to repeat the struggles of building everything from scratch. They give you internships, network to lean on. So if you follow all these steps, you won't just practice law, you will shape the future of it. So I come back to my question to each one of you: why would you wish to become a lawyer? And then we can move ahead to the questionnaire round.
Thank you, ma'am. To the participants, in case you have any questions, um, please go ahead and put it on the chat box or raise your hands, and one by one you can ask the questions directly to ma'am itself. Are there any questions, guys? Does anybody have any question?
Hi, Gunjan. Good evening. Okay, I see that you are a fourth year law student. Do you have any question?
Hi, ma'am. I was just typing, but I'll just ask anyway. So
Sure.
the problem with networking is, for example, me, I belong from a private college. So even if we constantly, we send cold emails to companies or whatever, they barely respond. So how do I deal with that?
Right. So, talking about myself, I am also from a private university, Karnavati University, which is now well known, but it was not when I passed out. Talking about cold emails, you guys have AI right now. So, make the most use of it. You need to know that how to prompt the AI. You just put on different emails every week. So, how cold email works? Talk to lead generational people. So, like, there are a lot of marketing strategists who generate leads for a lot of law firms, companies, and all of that. They reach out in a way wherein their email is very crisp and simple, in a very simple language. So what I have done is that in my profession as well, I get almost 100 applicants every day, but their emails are so huge that even I don't get time to read. So I expect a very small and crisp, email wherein you just mention about what are your practice areas, because your CV should cover everything, and the cover letter which you've already mentioned, right? So
Yes.
keep it very much simple. The email should not be more than 6 to 7 lines. It's a big no because we don't have time to read that. So it's always better to have a very small email and have a weekly timeline wherein if you have emailed on a Monday, then next Monday you can just follow up. So after you follow up on the second one, they will definitely reply, which is my personal experience.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
No problem. Thanks. Yeah. So um, Adil, that's great that you are interested in corporate legal sectors. You have a lot of law firms, emerging law firms who are into corporate and cross-border transactions. So you need to follow their practice areas and see how it is. Ria, Ria, how to use an AI for like drafting or research without totally depending on it, but understanding the concept or issues. Also, I need some tips, some AI tips. Okay, so first thing is that if you plan to invest on Chat GPT investment. They have a research 4.0 thing wherein it is very good and beneficial for us lawyers. I have lately understood that you cannot fully rely on AI for research, but they give you legit websites wherein you can just refer and then read. Second, when talking about drafting or research, I myself also draft from AI. I would not lie, because AI is something which gives you very grammatically sound and simple language drafts, which today's clients, of course, they need that. So the prompts are to be very precise. So it is very important for you all to prompt the AI in such a way that you are talking to the person. So like, if you are explaining an intern what do you want from them, that's the way you speak to an AI, then it will be able to assist you. Umi, ma'am, I am an intro ambivert, and so I try to. Let me tell you something. I am also not an extrovert. It was very difficult for me. It was very difficult for me to also try public speaking back then when I was in my law school. But you need to start networking in such a way wherein you start chatting with people on LinkedIn. You talk about their experiences, their hardships, what have they done. Start writing posts about this, and it will be very helpful for you. So introvert and extrovert and ambivert, you don't need to think it that way. We as lawyers have to have this skill of networking, because networking is something which will help us grow in the future. Naveen Kumar. Of course, Naveen. I mean, I also wanted to become a teacher back then, but of course, life changes, career choices change. But I mean, if it's a good choice if you get into a good college like Symbiosis or tier 1 or tier 2 colleges, because they also pay well, and then they're very serious about their curriculum. Sejal. So, target boutique law firms, because lot of tier 1 tier 2 law firms do not entertain people from second year or third year. They entertain more of people from fourth year of law school. So it is always good to target small firms and boutique law firms wherein you also get real cases. Yeah, they just because their team is very short, the interns also get to work a lot. So I would suggest you to and please do not go for virtual internship. Virtual internship will only give you research. They will never trust on you to take up the cases and everything. So it's better you get into boutique law firms and get into field work and not on virtual internship. Himanshi. Absolutely true, Himanshi. So, as a fresher, of course, it's quite difficult to get into in-house jobs. So, I would suggest you to work at least 2 to 3 years under a senior lawyer or a small boutique law firm. And then your opportunities are, of course, open for in-house, because in-house is something they have big transactions happening. So, they don't risk on freshers. So, I would suggest you to have a hands-on experiences on boutique law firms first, and then move into in-house laws later. Arpit, that's a brilliant question, I would say, because being a first generation lawyer and a first year law student, we do not understand what is going on, what are we going through. Because as I was also in my first year, I didn't know why did I choose law, what am I doing here, why am I away from my house. So these are pretty much legit questions that comes in our minds. That's the reason I've told you that you connect with NGOs, because see, NGOs have a lot of different sectors of work. So if we talk about NGOs like Umang, They have management also. Then they have they let us teach the students. They let us speak to the people. Physical and mental disability, it gives you a lot of intelligence, emotional intelligence. While you speak to people, they cry in front of you, and then you understand how to mold. So it's a very fantastic area wherein when you join NGOs and volunteering, you get real life problems. So as a first year law student, I would highly recommend first start with NGOs, and then move on to law practice. Arman, I would answer the same answer to you, that first, you start with NGO practice and then you move on to law firms, because first year is something we do not even have knowledge of law. So then law firms are very skeptical of, taking us. So it's better you get into an NGO and then, move ahead. Umi, how do I become a confident person? Like, I want to start public speaking. So the public speaking starts from your own college. You join debates. There are a lot of programs happening. You have to join events. I'm sure all of our colleges have fests happening. You need to participate in them. That is a very important hands-on experience that you can get. Amita, so I would tell you something, that my LinkedIn just had 300 to 400 followers 3 months back, and today I am with 11,000 followers, and I do not know how. I am just writing real problems, what I face in my everyday interactions with my clients, with my students, with my parents, with my helpers, and all of that. So that's basically it. So if you want to start networking, you start with real questioning as to why do you want to network, what is the motto behind that, why, how do you use LinkedIn, and then you can start. And also about the research platforms for beginners, I would say that you need to start reading a lot of research papers. So research papers are mostly written by people like, fourth year students or 5 year students. They've done a lot of research and they write. There are also research papers who are through PhD students, and I have also written one research paper upon on social impact of the lawyers. So get into something which is very niche in terms of law, and then research gate and all of that have legit research papers. So I think that's a good thing for beginners. How many pages should an ideal CV have? Gunjan, that's a very great question. Because a CV should not be more than 1.5 pages. I understood that because I was struggling for 3 months because my CV was 2 pages. And then a lawyer just interrupted while having an interview that why is the CV so long? I do not have time for that. That's when I realized that the CV should be at least 1 page, 1.5 page max, not more than that. Mentioning extra curriculum such as moot court or volunteering would help. So it depends on how many internships do you have. For example, if in your resume you have around 5 to 6 internship experience, you can of course mention about moot. But the moot court, wherein have you just participated, or have you won something, or have you scored well? Just add extracurricular activities if it has made a difference to you. Just don't add anything just for the sake of it. Ribu, okay. So I again would tell you that the same experiences I have faced, that senior lawyers don't respond, and which is a fact. But honestly, when I have gotten into this profession, to be honest, it's very difficult for us to reply to everyone. So of course it gets difficult, and since they are seniors, they have a lot of workload and all of that. But I would expect you that you approach in a way wherein you have legit questions, and not just like, hello, how are you, I'm a first year law student, and all of that. You need to have legit questions to ask us, and then of course we'll be available to reply. Second, focus on talking to people who have recently graduated, who have recently started their own practices, because they are more responsive and they want to help. And today's generation, I think they are all about mentorship, all about helping others, assisting others, because they know what they have gone through. So before getting into, extremely senior people like 15 plus experience, go beyond, 5+ year experience, 3+ years experience, they would guide you better. Aishwarya. Aishwarya, I don't think that we are using AI for that purpose. We are using AI just to, make the draft look proper and clean. You cannot totally rely on AI just for research or just for arguing in the code, because again, as I mentioned that AI is still not reliable for Indian jurisdiction. In India, we have certain legal language and terms that we go through even in court. So even if you ask that to AI, he wouldn't know. It is like US laws or UK English he knows. So it's better that you use AI just for your grammatical errors, nothing, not for anything else. Zenith, even today I asked that question to myself: why did I choose law? It is a very normal question, because when we are exhausted, when we are confused, when we don't have work, when we procrastinate, when we think that what are we doing in our life, we have this question. Like today in the morning, when I was not feeling well, and then I asked myself this question, that what am I doing in life? So that is a very, very, very normal question that you ask yourself, and it's absolutely normal. And actually, it is a good question to ask to yourself, because you procrastinate less. You focus more on, thinking about it, and then you wake up and then you do your work again. So yeah, don't worry about that question. Amrita, no, I assume that NGOs do not need experience. It depends on how have you given your interview. Because I remember that my NGO experience was my very first 6 months, first year of law school, wherein of course they interviewed, but it was more or less how eager you are to join an NGO. Joining an NGO comes with a lot of hardships. You have to see people you have not seen in your regular life, and management is also very difficult. So it is important how you speak to them, how eager you are. They just check that personality of yours. Could you suggest NGOs other than Umang for legal internships? Yes, Sejal, you can talk to Idhant NGO, which is based in Pune. They are quite well. They established 4 5 years back. You can of course give my reference, because I know them personally, and then you can go through them, because they have Saturday Sunday they teach small disabled students, which is a very good start for law students like you all. Umi, can I start legal internship without NGO? Of course you can, but then it depends on how your skill sets are. Because when we are in our first year law school, we are not so serious about work. So it is very important that your internships are good and you learn something from those internships. So it is quite difficult for me to tell you that if you start an internship without an NGO or a law firm, that totally depends on your abilities and skills. Arman, right. So you don't have to be just constrained with legal professionals. So, like talking about me, I also have a lot of doctors, marketing specialists, founders who are in my network. You have to keep your mind open, because you never know who teaches you what. So, lawyers can, of course, teach you law, but then a lot of factors come with the other professionals. So, be open to connecting with everyone, not just one domain. But of course your focus should be networking with lawyers, law firms, and legal professionals, but be open minded about who you follow. um Adit, Aditya, yeah, I would suggest an offline internship every time. So like when COVID happened, I was working virtually. So I did not get, any kind of interest in working. It was just me at my home on a dining table, which was quite boring. I do not have people to network. You need people to talk to. You need people to, burst your stress out. You need people to, tell about your work. अरे यार मैंने आज ये काम किया मुझसे ये नहीं हो रहा है. So it is very important that you talk to people. You learn a lot when you are in an offline internship. Sadia. Sadia, so I do not have, honestly, I don't have any opinion for, judiciary exam, because I never thought about it that way. However, it is actually good that, you have 3 years of practice, because being a judge also comes with a lot of cost. And when you are just, theoretically alert and very smart, that doesn't help you. You need practical knowledge as well. So it is important that, you should have at least 2 3 years of practice, and then you should give your exam, because you have a good hang of everything. Is network, Aishwarya? Of course networking is very necessary, and I think it is a very important aspect if you want to grow in our career. Talking about toxicity, of course, there is a lot of toxic people around us. We get a lot of messages. We get a lot of male dominance behavior, which is my experience. I have got a lot of messages which are quite toxic. There is a person who keeps messaging me every day with a rose. So I that doesn't stop me from networking, right? There are going to be good, bad, and worse people. You just have to choose your path wisely. Adil, I mean, it totally depends on what you want to do in your career, because corporates are more relied on drafting and everything. But when the case goes to litigation, of course you need to have a hang of that as well. So I would suggest that your internships should be a blend of both litigation as well as drafting, court work, and everything, so that you have a balance of all of those. Krishna, uh, so you mean that you've completed the company secretary professional course? Tanisha, please let me know your have you completed internships in only litigation or only corporate, so that I understand better what are your thoughts. And talking about family, so I'll tell you my personal experience, that since Preksha mentioned that I have specialized in criminal law, but I'm not practicing that because of my parents. So that completely is an answer to that parents are of course very scared of girls getting into criminal law and all of that. But I think that if they've told me something, and if I've also chosen a path of corporate, it's also working well. But I'm also started to taking criminal law as a practice, because that is something which I always wanted to do. So keep your minds open for everything. Just don't focus on what others are saying. What do you want? You have to be very flexible, because our profession can treat you in ways wherein you also have to work smallest of smallest affidavits, smallest of smallest word marriage certificates also, even if that is not your domain. Because if you want clients, you have to do that. So keep everything open. Ashwarya, again, that totally depends on what you want to do, because judiciary again is a very fantastic practice, and it requires a lot of resilience and smartness, theoretically and practically both, because you are the decision maker in the court. So choose your practice wisely, and I would recommend master's degree right after graduation is a good idea, because that's what I have done. I did it right after my graduation, because I honestly got to know at my early stage that I did not take my 5 years so seriously. So I wanted a hang of a very good college, which was very strict and who was behind my back. And then my research skills improved, my communication skills improved, a lot of things improved when I did my masters. So for me, masters is a big yes for everyone. But honestly, a lot of people have criticism to that, that you are not even teaching students, you're not even giving UGC net. Why LLM? But I would tell you that my abilities for a lot of things have increased just because of LLM. So I mean, studying will never go waste. So it's up to you. How should a first year law student build expertise in this field? Honestly, it is too early for you to start building expertise in this field, because if you talk about criminal law today, after 4 years you're going to talk about you being a corporate lawyer, or you being this a civil lawyer or whatsoever. So it is very early for you. I would request you to keep reading, keep networking, go to NGOs, go to different internships, and then decide what you want to do. What are the current industry trends or landmark cases? We should definitely track that on, because it's very important for us to be aware of what is going on. For example, my dad yesterday asked me about a case which I was not aware of, because I was last week I was very packed up with work, and then he asked me ki tu kya lawyer hai tu. So then that is humiliating as well as insulting. So it's always good, yeah, that you keep a track on all these cases. I would recommend focusing on specialization, just one, because I have seen a lot of law firms having multiple specializations, and then uh, we have a lot of feedbacks wherein they say that they are just specializing well in corporate. They do not have a good hang in civil. So then, if you want to practice in your own law firm, it's always important to have a niche field or just one field wherein you expertise in that. And of course, if you have a good curated team, then you have proper specialization, proper specialized team, and all of that. Arman, you can of course try to intern in a district court, but again, it depends on are you ready for that? Are you aware that it's going to be beneficial for you in the very first year of law? So that of course depends on you. Nitin, I would recommend that this is the time wherein you can explore different cities also, different areas of laws. So my internships were never in Pune; they were almost in Delhi, Mumbai, Rajasthan, and all of that. So once and your focus is that you want to have very good experiences in terms of internship, it is always good to switch cities and then move there for 2 3 months, work there, and then come back, because every city has different people, so you learn a lot, and then you also have a network. If today I have a work in Rajasthan, so I have network wherein I can call a lawyer and then tell them that I have a client, please assist them. So it is very important to network that way as well. Khushi, I think study never goes waste. So if you want to do diploma course, you of course should do it. But again, you need to focus on why do you want to do it? Is it really worth it? And is it really important at this time? Sohan, so being in a second year, it is too early for you to decide between corporate and criminal. You should be open with both. So I would suggest you one internship should be for corporate, one internship should be for criminal, and then so that by the third year or fourth year, you know that what is your area of interest. Khushi, of course, it's a good idea. I mean, it depends on our skill sets and what are we giving out to the clients. So you can excel in civil laws, you can excel in corporate. I do not guarantee where you would excel in today's world, but I would of course vouch for your skill set. If you have skill set, you would excel in any way possible. Ayush, there are a lot of startups now in India who want, in-house lawyers and also cannot spend much. So then they, of course, want, small law firms and for small lawyers who can assist them with. So except for judiciary and litigation, you can also, target tech, tech startups and all of them because they need a lot of contracts and all of that. So I think, except for litigation and judiciary, these things are a good option for you. Umi, what internship with legal firm? I mean, Umi, when you are in your first year law student, you can just try a lot of new things. So even if not NGO, then if you've got, research, uh, is she talking about legal specs like you all? Okay, so of course it's a great platform because then see, look at them that they're conducting webinars. So if you're a part of that, that will increase your management skills, abilities. So these networking skill sets are also like NGOs, wherein you manage people, you manage team, you also get research and all of that. So it depends on what you want, but I mean, legal specs, I think, is a good platform wherein you can, get your internship and you just give it a shot. Just it's, I think it's just for a month or so, right? Yeah, so of course you can do it. Harshita, this again depends on you, how your college is, because tier one law firms, of course, target from reputed college students. I just don't want you to say that, you are very sad that you did not get into first tier one law firms, because you need to be open. You need to be open with tier one, two, three, and very, very low, very small boutique law firms as well. So beneficial in a way that it will enhance your CV, of course, yes. Whenever someone says that I am from a merchant Mangalstar's intern, they would be treated in a different way rather than someone saying that I'm from Dhan Legal, for example. So then it depends, if you want to enhance your CV, if you want to enhance your skills. So that depends on you. Arman, in corporate, we have a lot of cross-border transactions, M&As, then drafting contracts, master service agreements. There are a lot of agreements that keep happening. Equity shareholders agreements. So corporate field, I cannot list everything that what kind of work, but it more or less drafting. And then again, you need to explain the business to people. So then there are a lot of people who want to merge their companies. So what suggestions would you give in all of that? In research paper with sources, case law, statutes, commentary, journals, should I prioritize? So talking about research, it should be from legit sources like Indian Kanun and Supreme Court cases, because these are the two main authorized sources from where you get legit cases. And journals, I would say that this Research Gate, and there are a lot of international journals with AA credits. So you need to search them and then get into that. How to end up getting 20 LPA package by Umi, it is too soon and too early for you to ask these questions. So I would just tell you that get into your law school. Yeah, of course, you should get into debating committees, research committees, because then it gives you a lot of authority. You know how to manage people. You know how to manage your law students. Then you know how to manage in-house guests, invitees who come in. How to speak to them. So the communication skills also. Again, it acts like how you would work in NGOs and all of that. So all the best to me. So I think that's it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, first of all, uh, for taking time out of your schedule and for gracing us with such a wonderful webinar. Ma'am, we're really grateful. All the practical insights and the meaningful advice that you've shared with us and shared with me and all of the other participants in the webinar is really, thank you so much, ma'am. Your passion for mentoring is truly evident. And to our wonderful audience, thank you so much for your active participation and for joining us today. We hope you found this session to be both informative and thought provoking. The feedback form link it has been shared on the chat box. Please go ahead and fill it. We'll wait for a few minutes before I shut the link off. And please make sure that you fill out the details correctly. Only on the basis of the feedback form would you be getting the certificates. Right. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again. It was really amazing having you. And I will reach out to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to each one of you, you guys can just message me on LinkedIn whenever and wherever you wish to. I would answer as much as questions as possible, because a lot of times after the webinar we don't understand what the questions were, and then after 2 hours we realize that we wanted to ask this question. So I am open to that as well. Whenever you want to contact, please get in touch with me on LinkedIn, and we can speak ahead. And thank you so much, Preksha. You've been very sweet and kind to me. And I'm looking forward to more such sessions.
Yes, ma'am.
All the
Yes.
best to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Right. So, everybody in the meeting, please make sure that you fill out the Google form before you leave. I'm sharing it again with you for just in case. Please make sure that you fill it out before you leave. I would be leaving the meeting as I have some other work to attend to. But the form is here. I have pinned it. I've sent it twice. There will be no certificates allotted if you fail to fill the feedback form. Please let me tell you that right now. Right. So please make sure that you submit the feedback.